There are currently over 4 million children in Yemen that are married, and Hasan Piker supports the Houthis. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 550% special of the How Effed is Hasan Piker franchise. A lot of people are fully unaware of how effed he is, so that's why I needed to be here to let you know he is 550% effed. Last time we covered him, he's absolutely scared out of his mind that I might be suing him because he knows he would get absolutely obliterated in court. So today's episode is going to be crazy, and I'm really happy it's 550 because this is one of the darkest episodes of the franchise. So we are going to go through it. We are going to be official. We are trying to have a good sense of humor about all of this stuff, but it's probably the darkest video of the franchise so far. I know I've said that in previous videos, but it keeps getting worse. He keeps getting worse. His rhetoric keeps getting more intense, and realistically, this man's going to be imprisoned by 1,000%, and it's going to be insane. So, a lot of people know that I am planning on talking about the fire attack that happened in Colorado, where there was a terrorist attack in Colorado, and some Egyptian illegal immigrant lit a couple of Jews on fire. We're going to be talking about that today because we're also going to be looking at his response to that, where he essentially says, lighting them on fire is not really like a good method to do it, which is the craziest coverage in the history of time. However, he is going to be in prison. We are going to cheer, but I wanted to talk about a blood libel that's been going around. Probably one of the most horrific blood libels of recent time, and Hasan is propagating it. So, this is Hasan's latest stream title, Israel Opens Fire at Aid Line. For those of you that are unaware of what's actually been going on in Israel and the whole Israel-Gaza drama, essentially, the UN's food kept getting stolen by Hamas, so Israel and the United States decided that they are going to initiate their own food line where they are going to get food to the people of Gaza so that the terrorists no longer steal the food. I have already covered that in 530 and 540%. So, or 530 and 520 rather. So here it states that Israel opened fire at the aid line, implying that Israel said, hey guys, come get food. People came to get food and Israel killed them. This didn't happen. This is not true at all. This is not even remotely true whatsoever. We're going to go through some of the fake news, but notice Hasan, of course, okay, dude, I'll save that for later, actually. That was meant to be later. But, so anyway, if you look at the way the news has been covering it, BBC says at least 27 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire while waiting for aid, Gaza authorities say. All right, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty insane. That's fucking horrible. That's a tragic thing, and that's a war crime. That's a nightmare. New York Times, breaking news, Israel troops opened fire near a Gaza aid site. The military said Gazan officials said at least 27 people were killed. Notice, this is the New York Times quoting what the Gazan officials, Hamas, are saying. They are quoting the terrorist organization that says that 27 people were killed by Israelis. All right, this is a horrible thing, all right? Israel, of course, denies it. They say this didn't happen. All right, they're like, this unequivocally did not happen, but Israel's biased, so we'll keep going. This is one of the politicians in Israel who said, no, this did not happen. Israeli tanks never opened fire on civilians. Like, what is happening? All right, so things are getting a little more interesting. Things are getting very suspicious. There's quite the back and forth. And then a lot of videos came out. A lot of very weird, interesting videos came out from civilians in Gaza. Because remember, the civilians in Gaza hate Hamas. Hamas started this war. Hamas can end the war any day by releasing the hostages and surrendering. And Hamas does not do that. So, let's see what the civilians in Gaza are saying about this.
نحن هنا بنتحدث في هذا الموضوع. أولا حماس تفضل أن نموت جوع ونعاني كي لا تنجح المساعدات الأمريكية. حماس تستخدم اقتصاد المساعدات وتوزع عادات على الناس واستغلالهم والتحكم فيهم وتجنيد الشباب والناس والمحتاجين وبالتالي بكل تأكيد تزعج حماس.
Right? The new mechanism is controlled by the United States and actually does get food to civilians. So the Hamas terrorists that like to control the people by stealing their food and starving them to use their starved people as propaganda to the world. Remember, these are terrorist motherfuckers. All right, they're rapist murderers. They're horrible. So they are really upset that food is actually getting to these people. He's obviously censored because otherwise Hamas would find his identity and murder him. So this guy, Eyewitness, says there were not Israelis that murdered these 27 Palestinians. It was, in fact, Hamas that murdered 27 Palestinians that were trying to get food. All right? The Palestinians were trying to get food from the United States and Israel's new thing, and the Hamas terrorists murdered their own people, according to this eyewitness.
الأيام اللي صار هو هجوم مسلحين على طوابير الناس المنظرين لاستلام المساعدات من الشركة الأمريكية، ولا أحد يقدر على التحمل مثل هذا الهجوم إلا حماس، وأحد له مدى حماس.
Yeah, who gains from this attack? He's like, wait, why would Israel even do this? Why would Israel shoot 27 random people that are coming to get food? Like, why would they be giving us food and then just kill 27 of us? The only person to gain from this is the Hamas terrorists that are using these dead people as propaganda.
الجانب الأمريكي يريد بشدة أن يرجع هذه الآلية في التوزيع الإسرائيلي لأن الضغوطات من مسألة مساعدات على إسرائيل، وهي طريقة تضمن نفس الوقت توقف الدول بداية سريان آلية توزيع هذه المساعدات المجانية، وحماس تحاول بكل الأشكال.
So, from the beginning of this actual shit, Hamas has been doing everything in their power to literally stop the civilians from getting food. They've been trying. We covered this in the past, but they warned them in the past, do not get food. Do not get food. Do not take Israel up on it. Do not take the American food. Don't do it.
منع من الذهاب لاستلام المساعدات سواء بالتخوين او بنشر معلومات واشاعات عن آلية التوزيع، شيء انه اسرائيل راح لكم انتم خونه، وزاد غضب وجنون حماس مع انتشار الناس وهي استلام المساعدات، وهي رئيسة ترامب وتشتم حماس، وقد دفع حماس القيام بهذا الهجوم. ما في بغزة ناس منظمة ومسلحة قادرة تعمل هالشيء اللي حماس الجيش الاسرائيلي له اماكن تمركز معروفة وواضحة، ما بيخاط يدخل بين المدنيين بهذا الشكل. فقط التواصل الاجتماعي واللي بينشروه حماس كل يوم
So apparently, Hamas has been publishing on social media in the Gaza area, threatening any Palestinian civilian that takes American aid. Yeah, this is insane! These are the people that Hasan supports. All right, let's be real here. These are the people that Hasan Piker supports. Not just are they terrorists to the Israelis, they are terrorists to their own people. Hamas Piker, the denier of rape, once again cooking. So this guy, without a doubt, he literally says, no doubt in my mind, it's Hamas that did it. He saw it with his own eyes. All right, that's what he's saying. In fact, another reason why I believe it is because if you look at just your average Palestinian people that actually get food from these aid trucks in the new aid system, this is what they're saying. They're all dancing, thank you, Trump, thank you, Trump. Right, Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel. Trump, right? Like, so that's the people that are getting the food. Those are the people getting the food. All right, this guy is literally putting his life on the line, saying that, nah, it's actually the terrorists that are doing it. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to show you this is because the BBC, absolute fucking freaking retards in the BBC, they released this just pretty recently. And this is crazy to see. Claim graphic video is linked to aid distribution site in Gaza is incorrect. So remember, the BBC made this claim, right? I showed this to you earlier. The BBC made this claim, at least 27 Palestinians killed by Israeli fire waiting for Gaza, waiting for food, all right? Killed by shit, all right? The BBC then fixes their statement. Ready? As part of our investigation into the report shootings yesterday near the aid distribution site in Rafah, southern Gaza, we've reviewed a graphic video, one has been seen 134,000 times in one X post alone, which claims shows the incident. In the footage showing the apparent immediate aftermath of a strike, dust clouds are visible and bodies are lying on the ground, some motionless and bloodied. It was posted with the caption by Al Jazeera, a Qatar propaganda news organization. Journalist stating, new footage reveals horrific massacre committed by Israeli forces near a U.S. distribution site in southern Gaza. That's what Al Jazeera said. We have geolocated the clip at the spot in Khan Yunis, approximately 4.5 kilometers from the nearest aid distribution point. All right, 4.5 kilometers from there. The direction of the shadow suggests it was filmed in the evening, not the morning, which does not match the accounts of the Rafah shootings. While verifying the clip, a local journalist filmed another video of the same scene, confirmed to us the events in the picture were unrelated to any aid distribution site and occurred yesterday evening after 7 p.m. local time. The circumstances of the strike are unclear. They're unclear. Oopsie poopsie. I know that we posted a gigantic article saying that this happened, but oopsie poopsie, it turned out. We have no evidence at all that this happened whatsoever. They literally lied to us. It's unclear. This is called a blood libel. All right. A blood libel is a anti-Semitic canard which falsely accuses Jews of murdering people. This is a old school blood libel. And you know, the craziest shit? Hasan tweeted this again. I wasn't even going to talk about it, but Hasan tweeted it again after it was confirmed that it was fake, after it was confirmed to be not accurate, after it was confirmed that there was no evidence by the BBC, who apologized for their original freaking post, Hasan makes another tweet, retweeting the blood libel. Israeli troops opened fire near a Gaza aid site, the military said. 27 Gaza officials have been killed. Notice how this is written, right? It doesn't even say that the Israeli troops killed them. It just says that Israel troops fired and Gazan officials said 27 were killed, which probably were killed by Hamas. And Hasan retweets this. This is as close to a non-passive voice headline as you're gonna get from the premier contextualizers of Israeli violence. There is a tide shift. Keep the pressure. Do not succumb. And bro keeps pushing. This is a blood libel. This is the most insane shit I've ever seen. Like, this is absolutely mind-boggling that he's actually pushing this further. Like, this, for context, this was posted at 10:27 a.m. June 3rd, all right? This BBC correction, I just found this in some other random guy's tweet from the BBC, and this was 2:40 June 2nd. He posted this basically a day after it was debunked, and he's still going for it. Is that not insanity?
After Nux's stream, this tweet came out stating Hamas has openly announced field executions of Palestinians who went to the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation for food.
So, anyway, I wanted to show you this clip. I've showed it in Hasan Piker's 500% Fucked, but I think it's incredibly important to look into this one a little bit more before we get into the actual terrorist attack that happened in the United States of America in Boulder, Colorado, because this is going to make a lot more sense in context. So this is Hasan talking to some guy, I don't know him, and essentially they're having a conversation here about how cool it would be if they had an IRA-style terrorist organization bombing people in the United States of America.
The amount of power to challenge this, but they also themselves have no real reason, no real motivation for doing so, because...
Right, he's talking about how Americans don't have a motivation to go against Israel. They need a motivation.
Ultimately, you know, what you said about Vietnam probably rings true. It does not affect them that much. It affects some of them psychologically, and that is about it. They don't see any material consequences from it. You know, there has not been like a massive adverse reaction that could turn them against it. Like, for example, like the IRA, for example, did a lot to like instill like fatigue in the British public on their government to try and...
Look at him nodding along. It's like, yes. Unfortunately, there's no IRA-style terrorist organization to build fatigue in America.
For some sort of solution to the troubles.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. There's nothing like it anywhere. Not at all.
Well, there's no situation historically that has existed where the captive population has been this thoroughly, at least in contemporary history that I can think of, where the captive population has been this thoroughly ethnically cleansed in broad daylight without any sort of material support to offer from other countries, right? Like you have no Cuban example, you have no USSR example.
So his argument now is getting a way for Americans to provide actual support to terrorists, like actually getting weapons to terrorists.
And the role that they might have played in the ANC's efforts to resist against the apartheid structure in South Africa. And you certainly don't have American congresspersons doing arms trafficking to Hamas in the way that they did to the IRA.
This is him directly supporting the idea of American politicians arms trafficking to terrorists. What is happening? This is the largest leftist political streamer, man. Bro? Don't worry, it gets worse.
Conservative politicians of Irish background doing arms shipments to the IRA at a certain point. You could fundraise for the IRA in American bars.
He wants fundraising for an IRA-style terrorist organization in the United States of America. Now, in case you actually want to see what the IRA did, here's a nice little AI-generated list of shit that they've done. Notable IRA bombings. They bombed people here. A booby-trapped car bomb. The furniture company bombing. The Andershot bombing. The Abercorn restaurant bombing. The Dongle Street bombing. The Bloody Friday, known for detonating 22 bombs in 75 minutes. The Kaladi bombing. And the list goes on. These are the amount of bombings that the IRA have done. When he is saying that he wants an IRA-style terrorist organization to be active in America, he is, in my opinion, signaling to this situation. This is a video of a 42-year-old man named Mohammed Soliman, an Egyptian national, illegal immigrant in the United States of America. He overstayed his visa. And 2 days ago, he lit Jews on fire in public. Yep, he did that. He decided that was a thing to do. So, again, in my opinion, Hasan rhetoric actively supports this kind of thing. I'm not going to show you the actual video of him lighting Jews on fire.
There are 6 victims, ages 67 to 88. All of them have been transported to local hospitals. This attack happened at a regularly scheduled weekly peaceful event.
Right, you gotta realize this peaceful event isn't like some sort of protest lighting cars on fire, burning shit down, and pushing people. This is a bunch of old Jews walking in solidarity with hostages that have been kept in a Gaza dungeon for the last 600 days.
Witnesses are reporting that the subject used a makeshift flamethrower and threw an incendiary device into the crowd.
Bro, Molotov cocktails and flamethrowered people in Boulder, Colorado. Dude, these are just regular American people standing together and praying for hostages, and he lit them on fire. Hello? What? Anyway, don't worry, we'll watch the Hasan response to this later.
The suspect was heard to yell, "Free Palestine," during the attack.
Well, we gotta wait for Hasan to figure out his motives. I don't know if Free Palestine has anything to do with his motives or anything. That's crazy.
The subject has been identified as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, and he's 45 years old. The FBI is processing the crime scene in the subject vehicle and interviewing key witnesses. We're assisting Boulder police in providing technical, analytic, and additional forensic resources. As a result of these preliminary facts, it is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating this as an act of terrorism.
It is an act of terrorism. I don't see how you could possibly explain that this is anything other than an act of terrorism. So the reason why I wanted to show you this is because here you get barely speaks English, yells Free Palestine, throws Molotov cocktails at peaceful protesters. His name is Mohammed Soliman. Media. Colorado man! We're unsure of his motive. Can't even make this shit. It's tragic even watching this happen. Now, Hasan, of course, look how he titled his stream. I'm back. DreamCon recap. Ukraine drone strikes Russia. Colorado man attacks Israel protest. Colorado man. Bro, these people, they're fucking awful. This is insanity to even look at. So, anyway, some crazy shit happened. This is Fox News when they were talking about it. They got this guy from the ADL. I don't even like the ADL, but this is crazy that this happened.
So I applaud DOJ for taking a tough stance. And what I really want is whether it's social media influencers on Twitch and YouTube like Hasan Piker or other kind of promoters of hate on YouTube and TikTok like Guy Christensen, or like, you know, these speakers at these graduations. It just happened the other day at MIT, spreading blood libels about the Jewish people or the Jewish state. It creates the conditions in which this kind of act is happening with increasing frequency. We've got to stop it once and for all. I hope the Trump administration will do just that.
So yeah, not gonna lie, I don't know, I don't love the ADL, but he was spitting facts there. Yeah, it turns out if you have some of the largest voices just normalizing shit like this, talking about IRA-style terrorist organizations, that's insane. So Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, said we're aware of this and we're looking into it. Asmongold said you need to look into some of these people online. They promote this shit and nothing happens to them, and he's completely correct. He is literally and utterly completely correct. People need to look into this shit. Incitement to violence is a crime. It is not protected by freedom of speech. I think that is really super important to note. And this is another situation that just happened on May 30th, 3 days ago. Michigan Muslim pleads guilty and plot to open fire and kill Jewish preschoolers at daycare center at synagogue. But this didn't even make the national headlines because that's not really such a big deal, it seems. So in my opinion, when you are normalizing this shit, when you are out there advocating and normalizing for a lot of pretty insane shit that goes down, a lot of wild fucking shit that happens, then in my opinion, it does actually contribute to the shit that happens. So I wanted to look at Hasan's actual response to this because Hasan made an entire video. I don't think we're going to be watching all of it, but I wanted to show you his overall response. And you are going to freak out because you'd think his response would be, I condemn unequivocally random acts of violence against people that are civilians. That's what you'd think he would say. What he actually says is, this guy was a little unhinged and I'll be real, it doesn't help the cause. Get ready.
We'll start with the investigation into attack on pro-Israel demonstration in Colorado. Some psycho.
God, he's crazy. He's a psycho.
To a bunch of old Jewish people that were doing like a demonstration in support of Israel and
in support of getting hostages back.
Tried to like light them on fire or something.
Yes.
Just real
shirtless.
Insane.
Yeah, what an insane guy. You see, he should have used a gun like the other guy that Hasan was glazing.
Like Molotov cocktails or something, I guess. He used a flamethrower and threw someone said there was a flamethrower as well. The protest was the free to
Now watch how his chat glazes him and gasses him up, and Hasan is scared for his life as he tries to tone his chat down.
Hostages, it was like a pro-Israel protest, but it doesn't matter.
It was a protest for the hostages. It doesn't matter. You're right. It does not
the
matter. You don't just firebomb random people.
This was for that's psychotic. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
psychotic.
That's an insane thing to do.
It is insane. He's so right. It's insane. What is insane about it? Is it the attacking innocent people? Is that the insane part, or is it specifically the manner in which he did it?
And this man is an insane person.
He's crazy. Absolutely. All right, we get it. He's insane. Why?
Insane person.
Why is he insane? I mean, you're out there promoting terrorist organizations, wanting an IRA-style bombing terrorist group in America. Why is he insane? Explain.
Nobody died. Holy shit.
Community members in Boulder, Colorado.
Let me just show you. Let me just show you his comments for a second, because I think I don't want to forget. You have to see this. The attacker has so little regard for elderly civilians. You'd think it was the IDF. 132 mass shootings in America so far, 2025. This gets wall-to-wall coverage. Yeah, a lot of these happened, actually. And this is not even a mass shooting. This guy fucking firebombed protesters. What the fuck are you talking about? Dude, I heard of the Maryland man getting deported from the United States for months. A guy in Maryland, gang member that was deported. That got wall-to-wall coverage. It's weird that they put focus on the makeshift flamethrower and cocktails in a country where he could have bought an AR-15. Yeah, America bad. America bad. Why are they talking about the flamethrower that he literally burnt people alive? I don't know. Maybe it's because Hasan supports shooting them. He just doesn't support the flamethrower. Damn shame. There are so many billionaire oligarchs he could have used these on. Hello? FBI? What? Known to the FBI is a synonym for we coaxed him into doing it. All right, you got the false flaggers in the audience. The people saying, nah, the FBI got this fucking insane Egyptian man to firebomb Jews. It was the FBI that did it. Not because he was known to the FBI, because he was illegal in the country. Like, dog, the comments are unreal. Unreal. If Hasan was a honeypot, he would be the most successful FBI honeypot operation in history.
They were calling for the release of the hostages held by Hamas. 8 people hospitalized after witnesses say the attacker used a makeshift flamethrower.
Yeah, it's like, it does.
Bro. Yeah, hilarious. Dude, it does matter, Hasan. Look at his audience being more radical because he's pushing them off that cliff. You don't think a pro-Israel protest is psychotic in itself? This is a guy in his chat endorsing firebombing Jews in America. Okay? All right? This is what he's saying. He's like, what do you mean he's crazy for firebombing Jews? There were Jews literally protesting for Israel.
Psychotic in and of itself? Yes, it is. But you know what you can't do? Throw Molotov cocktails at it.
You see, Hasan's upset that he didn't just have a gun. That's why, in my opinion, Hasan is upset. Because when the guy shot a woman in the back of her head in D.C. the other day, Hasan was cool with that. Hasan never condemned that. But you see, the optics of a flamethrower burning old people alive, the optics are not so good, according to Hasan.
stupid? Are you out of your mind? Come on, dude. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what do you think this is? Grand Theft Auto? What are you, insane? Are you out of your mind? Are you a federal agent?
And threw an incendiary device. The man was taken into custody at the scene. Mola Lengi is in Boulder with the latest. Good morning, Mola.
Well, good morning, George. The FBI investigating this as a potential targeted act of terrorism.
No shit.
The witnesses here describing just a horrifying scene.
And then you look at his audience like, no, that's insane. What? Oh, terrorism.
This outdoor pedestrian mall in Boulder. People being set on fire. Officers rushing to the scene in Boulder, Colorado around 1:30.
The fact that he did it in front of a pride flag is like a whole other level of fuck, man.
Sunday afternoon, after receiving calls.
Yeah, he did. Great job for this guy. Almost lit a
Do you see this? He's like, oh, you should have terrorismed a little better.
dude who I guess survived the Holocaust on fire.
It's like, oh, do you have any idea how bad the optics are if you light a Holocaust survivor on fire? Like, dog, can you, why doesn't he just say, yeah, we should not actually be doing violence against random American people?
What are we doing? What the are you talking about? Are you insane? Like 87-year-old Jewish dude who like, or Jewish woman who
Dude, and do you even see his chat? Dude, it's so maddening watching this shit. Let me pull that up for you guys, because you're gonna lose your mind. When you, not helping the cause. Do you see that one? I feel like I'm too full screen. Yeah, look at this shit. Not helping the cause. It's like, dude, what is happening? Oh my God, dude.
Jewish woman who fucking survived the Holocaust getting lit on fire. Not exactly great, you know? Are you insane? There are a lot of instances of direct action that...
Yeah, there were Holocaust survivors that were murdered on October 7th and captured, by the way. I'm not sure he's aware.
Is valid, valuable, reasonable, okay? This is...
Say that again? One more time?
Direct action that is valid, valuable, reasonable.
He says that there is direct action that is good. But the flamethrower on old people? Not good for the cause. Well, what valid action are you talking about, Hasan? He's not going to say it out loud because he wants violence. So he's not going to say it out loud.
Okay, this is not...
I hear a dog whistle. Any of you guys hear that shit?
Even in the range of appropriate behavior.
Yeah, it's not appropriate to light old people on fire, guys.
Hey, get the fuck out of here. No one is actually even supporting it. Someone just like tried to...
No one's supporting it. His entire fucking chat is supporting it. His whole chat supports this shit.
Say some dumb shit, and I immediately clamped on it.
Of people being set on fire.
Yeah.
There's multiple mixed reports about it.
Dude, you look at his chat. This man did not read the room. What? Yeah, not burning people. I'm anti-fire in most situations. Like, dog! Not a Shoah survivor, Shoah's the Holocaust. Like, it is crazy to see this. Dude, look at this. This guy was crazy, and luckily nobody died. But again, this cannot be classified as an anti-Semitic incident. What? Just lit a bunch of Jews on fire, bro. What are we even talking about? And so Hasan loves saying that I like making the differentiation between Judaism and Zionism. Yeah, I like to make a differentiation between Judaism and Zionism. You see, nothing's anti-Semitic anymore. It's all anti-Zionist. If you murder Jews because they're Jews, that's not anti-Semitism.
We're getting lots of 911 calls.
Police responding to a suspect armed with what officials say was a makeshift flamethrower who allegedly threw...
It's crazy watching this, holy shit. Dude, this one guy in chat is like, wait, it's not just optics. It's actually bad to light people on fire. Least unhinged Hasan fan. Wait, it's actually bad.
Threw an incendiary device into the crowd. Witnesses say he yelled, "Free Palestine," during the attack.
I've never seen anything like this before in my entire life. It was absolutely gruesome.
The FBI investigating what they're calling a targeted attack on a group of peaceful demonstrators who were raising awareness on the remaining Israeli hostages in Gaza.
It is clear that this is a targeted act of violence, and the FBI is investigating
Why do you think they're doing this? Is it because people feel increasingly desperate? Because nothing they do changes the government's course? I think that's part.
And so, of course, you get the Hasan chatter basically saying that, yeah, I guess people are desperate, so, yeah, of course they do these terrorist attacks. It's inevitable.
Part of it, but, like, we're in America, man.
All right, get ready for the "we're in America" defense.
We're in the United States of America. What do you think? People are insane here.
Yeah, Americans are all insane. They're all crazy. Classic America. Insane, crazy culture. That's why there's violence. It has nothing to do with the fact that this is a group of people that are generally just sitting out there and celebrating terrorists. All right, no. The insane culture of America is what's causing all of this. Just in case you're curious, this is just random footage I happen to have of Hamas throwing people off a rooftop. Oh, that's a guy, yeah. So, yeah. That was just footage of Hamas throwing a Palestinian off a roof. Anyway, I don't know. That was just random. Moving on.
America is a uniquely violent country. And I think a lot of people just kind of forget how, again, uniquely violent of a nation this is.
America, nation of violence. Nothing quite as violent as America. I don't know, not the rapist terrorists that broke into Israel and murdered 1,300 civilians and raped them and tortured them. Not those guys. Those guys aren't uniquely violent. Those guys are freedom fighters, according to Hasan Piker.
The reason why the Palestinian movement, or Hamas, for example, has never had an instance of violence outside of the territory of historic Palestine.
So Hasan's next lie, and it's crazy, I could do this every sentence. His next lie is, there has never been an instance of Palestinians being violent outside of Israel, the area of historic Palestine, as he calls it. I want you to hear that one more time.
Islands outside of the territory of historic Palestine.
Right, so Palestinians never violent outside historic Palestine. What started the civil war in Lebanon and in Jordan? And why does Egypt not allow Palestinians into Egypt? I mean, you have to realize Gaza is bordered by Israel and Egypt, right? So why didn't Egypt let Palestinians in? They don't let them in. They do not let them in. Because Hamas was terrorizing Egyptians as well. It is crazy to even see this shit. I could pull it up for you if you want to see why Jordan and Lebanon are both very, I guess, racist against Palestinians. I could even grok it for you guys so you could see what the AI has to say. Here, let's see. Why do Jordan and Lebanon... It's mind-boggling to even have to, like, drop this, bro. All right, so, Black September in 1970 was pretty fucked up. All right. So, Black September, 1970, tensions peaked during the conflict known as Black September when the Palestine Liberation Organization and its militants operated extensively in Jordan, creating a state within a state, including attempts to control Palestinian refugee camps and conduct operations from Israel from Jordanian soil. They threatened King Hussein's authority. Rumors of plots to overthrow the monarchy, a series of skyjackings by Palestinian groups heightened tensions. In September 1970, the Jordanian military launched a crackdown, leading to heavy fighting. Estimates Palestinian deaths range from 2 to 25,000, and the Palestine Liberation Organization was expelled to Lebanon, so they started a war there. All right. Lebanese Civil War. The arrival of the Palestine Liberation Organization in Lebanon after Black September contributed to the country's sectarian tensions. Palestinians' refugee camps became bases for Palestine Liberation Organization military operations, which some Lebanese factions, particularly the Christians and Shia groups, saw as a threat to the delicate sectarian balance. The PLO's presence was blamed for sparking a civil war. Like, I mean, listen, I'm just saying, there are good people and there are bad people in every single group of people. But for him to sit here and be like, America is uniquely violent, but Palestinians have never committed any acts of violence outside of Israel. Like, dog, you are retarded. You are a propagandist.
I talked about this when the embassy shooting happened, because they are laser focused on a singular goal of ensuring that the occupation ends.
Okay, so why is Hamas murdering Palestinians in Gaza? Why are Gazans in Gaza protesting against Hamas and Hamas is killing them? Why are they doing that if they're doing that for the people? Because they're not doing that for the people. They're terrorist organizations, okay? They're fucking terrorist organizations that rape and murder babies. Oh my God.
And in the process, do they personally engage in heinous acts of violence? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, a little bit of heinous violence, whatever. Hasan supports Hamas. This is old news.
It's ridiculous that that this kind of action is in any way, shape, or form associated with like the reasonable approach, like what the student movement has done. It's
just so unreasonable that they Molotovs is the line for Hasan Piker. Notice when it came to the guy that murdered 2 people in Washington D.C., Hasan didn't have such hard words because look, that was a gun to the back of the head, whatever. That's pretty honorable according to Hasan Diddler Piker. All right, okay, all right.
On the exact opposite end of the spectrum in terms of like productivity. It's not even...
In terms of what?
...movement is done. It's on the exact opposite end of the spectrum in terms of like productivity.
Lighting Jews on fire is not productive enough for Hasan Piker. It is not productive enough to throw Molotov cocktails at Holocaust survivors. It isn't, he accidentally says the quiet part out loud. He is censoring his own speech so hard. okay? He is going so hard, trying his absolute best to not accidentally support the guy and get clipped out of context, but it just bleeds out by accident. Dude is a radical incitement of violence piece of garbage. He does this every single stream. Oh my God. He does this every stream.
It's not even like this is just
mostly peaceful flamethrowers, we know.
It's violence for the sake of violence.
Oh, it's just violence for the sake of violence. It's not productive enough. You see, if it would have been violence for the sake of saving Palestine, well, then maybe it would have been cool. Maybe then if you firebomb Jews, it would be cool. But that's not it, bro. That was just for violence. He says the quiet part out loud, bro.
And nothing more. It's senseless violence. That's it. It is.
You sound mad, Nux. This is the largest leftist political streamer on the planet who's live in front of tens of thousands of people every single day, talking about how using a flamethrower on random Jews in America isn't productive enough, and he should have done it in a better way to help save Palestine. I'm a little mad.
Is utterly directionless. Going to a pro-Israel rally or going to a like free the hostages rally and dropping Molotov cocktails on like 87-year-olds is
that's the limit. 87-year-olds.
Psychotic, dude. It completely psychotic, completely unacceptable. Not only is it inhumane and
it's inhumane, lighting Jews on fire.
Insane.
Right.
It's also entirely counterproductive.
How does he squeeze it in every sentence? See, the thing is, I wish I didn't need to be the one to cover this stuff. I really did. I wish the MorePegasuses of the world would actually go through his actual coverage of a terrorist attack in the United States of America. Remember, this is the guy that said America deserved 9/11. No one's that surprised. But I wish I wasn't the guy that actually needed to sit through this garbage.
That's it. I don't even think this dude is like an anarchist or anything like that. He was like a 40, 50-year-old guy, dude.
He's just a regular 40, 50-year-old guy.
I think he's a person who is unimaginably frustrated and like lost his mind.
He's a frustrated guy. He's frustrated. I mean, obviously he's saying that, he was frustrated for legitimate reasons, of course. And he went a little too hard when he lit Jews on fire in America.
I mean, you're talking about a dude who took a shirt off to like try to, use Molotov cocktails on a bunch of old people.
8 people between the ages of...
That's the limit. That's the limit for him. It's not even productive.
52 and 88.
Let me ask you a stupid question, Hasan. What was productive about Hamas starting the current war that's going on in Gaza? What was productive of Hamas murdering 1,300 civilians as well as hundreds of Palestinians, probably? What was the purpose of that? They just started a fucking war. They killed 50,000 people in Gaza. What was the purpose of all that? What, did they save Palestine? Are you actually retarded? He supports the actual terrorists that started the war, that caused the deaths of all these people in Gaza, that could have ended the war on day 1 if they would have surrendered and released the hostages, and still could to this day. You have to realize something insane, all right? Just last week, Hamas rejected a ceasefire. They are allegedly being genocided, right, Hasan? And they are rejecting ceasefires.
Hello again. This was posted later. The Union of Clans in southern Gaza has condemned Hamas for rejecting the ceasefire and is calling for mass protests. Qatar, Egypt, the US, Israel. And now Gazans blame Hamas. Yet the media continues to miss the story.
Why was there a blockade before October 7th? Oh, I don't know, because Hamas shot 30,000 missiles into Israeli cities over the last 20 years, and they put a blockade up to make sure that they wouldn't get weapons? No shit.
8 injured. 2.
They're a terrorist organization that's been designated as a terrorist organization by most countries in the Middle East. Not even America. America always had them as a terrorist organization. But even in the Middle East, they're considered terrorist organizations by, like, Saudi Arabia.
Airlifted to burn units. 1 in critical condition.
Yeah, from what I understand, he's an Egyptian national who overstayed his visa. Yeah.
Yes! An illegal immigrant! It is hitting all the dots! Oh my God!
And now they're gonna clamp down extra hard. Not only are they gonna clamp down...
Oh, they're gonna clamp down hard on illegal immigrants. All he did was light a couple of Jews on fire. Am I right, guys? It's not even that productive.
People like me, apparently Jonathan Greenblatt is trying to say that, like, I'm responsible for this.
He never said you're responsible. He said rhetoric like yours is responsible, and he's probably likely right. Because it turns out if you have a large group of people that are essentially condoning this shit, then yes, it actually does normalize it for other people to do it.
Again, which is so insane. It's so psychotic. The fuck are you doing, man? Again, yeah. Anytime any sort of like violence takes place against like a pro-Israeli rally or anyone out there, he just goes, oh, it's Hasan Piker's fault.
Except he didn't say that. He doesn't show the clip here, so I'm going to actually show it to you just to make sure that you understand how badly he's taking this guy out of context. I don't even like him, but you have to see how badly he takes him out of context.
So I applaud DOJ for taking a tough stance. And what I really want is whether it's social media influencers on Twitch and YouTube like Hasan Piker or other kind of promoters of hate on YouTube and TikTok like Guy Christensen, or like, you know, these speakers at these graduations. It just happened the other day at MIT, spreading blood libels about the Jewish people or the Jewish state. It creates the conditions in which this kind of act is happening with increasing frequency. We've got to stop it once and for all. I hope the Trump administration will do just that.
All right, so now that we've confirmed that he didn't actually say anything at all like Hasan said that he said, we can continue. He said that I really hate that you have people like Hasan, like Guy Christensen, like whatever other people that are normalizing violence against regular American citizens. Does Hasan say there's blood libels? Hasan made this tweet after it was confirmed to be fake. Dude, Hasan made this tweet, quote tweeting a debunked news article that was proven false, that was admitted to be false. He retweeted it. That is a blood libel. Yeah.
Dude, what are you saying? What the kind of psychotic nonsense is this?
He never blamed you, okay? He never said it's your fault, but you literally do incite violence all the time. He didn't say that you are the direct cause, but stop, bro.
This video shows the suspect, according to an official briefed on the situation, holding what appears to be Molotov cocktails in front of a patch of burning grass, screaming at the crowd before being taken down by police.
Thank God there are police, am I right, guys? Anyway, he yammer jabbers for like a really long time here. He says like a lot of nothing, so I'm gonna condense it by skipping most of it because I have no patience to hear him speak. Like, it's actually insufferable. Every single sentence he says is worse than the last.
A couple, Judaism and Zionism.
All right, so this is Hasan's big savior. He is the savior of Jews, all right? You might think that Hasan is inciting violence against Jews by all the times he says that, you know, it's not productive when you light Jews on fire. But don't worry, because he actually is the Jewish hope.
Israeli embassy staffer shooting, and right after this, Jonathan Greenblatt goes on television and immediately goes, this is Hasan's fault, which is psychotic.
He didn't directly say that it is your fault, but he did say you contributed, and he's right.
Jonathan Greenblatt has played a larger role in the dangerous conflation of Jews and Israel.
Ah, the Jews. It's the Jews that made Jews targets to freaks that are shouting pro-Palestine. It's clearly Jews that are inciting this.
More so than anyone else. I work to try every single day to...
He fights for the Jews every day.
Decouple Judaism and Zionism.
He is decoupling Judaism and Zionism every day. That's what he does. He gets up and he's like, let's decouple Jews from Zionists. Let me make something clear to you. Zionists are anyone that thinks that Israel has the right to exist. Okay? Israel, thinking that Israel has the right to be a country makes you a Zionist. That is the majority of the world, okay? Not just is it the majority of the world, but it's the majority of Jews. And when I say majority, I think it's over 90% of Jews think that the country of Israel has the right to exist. So when this dude says, I'm decoupling Zionism and Judaism, it's literally the Jews' fault for making Jews sound Zionist, and it's the Jews that make the Jews sound like that they want Israel to exist, that gets random fucking Egyptian terrorists to murder them in America. It's the Jews' fault. It's all the Jews' fault.
From one another, when Jonathan Greenblatt and many others are actively trying to say, no, you don't understand. This is the truth. It is what it is. Israel is doing this for Jewish people. It's horrifying. Here it is.
This is actually insane. Like, it is absolutely mind-blowing that he looks at that at all, and that's what he says.
And what I really want is whether it's social media influencers on Twitch and YouTube like Hasan Piker, or other kind of promoters of hate on YouTube and TikTok like Guy Christensen, or like, you know, these speakers at these graduations. It just happened.
Yeah, see? All of his smoke is for, like, speakers.
Why didn't you let him finish the sentence, Hasan? Why didn't you let him say, not only did he say like, which means he didn't directly blame you, but he also said that it's creating an environment that normalizes violence. He didn't say that you got the guy to kill people.
Graduations, like people that say Israel's doing a genocide, which is correct. Israel is doing a genocide.
So, I don't want to tread ground, but according to the United States of America, Israel is not doing a genocide. In fact, this is a very contested topic that you can make multiple arguments for or against, and I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty right here. However, commonly to say, not trying to be controversial here, he skips around the argument. He makes believe that it's a different argument.
Like people that say Israel's doing a genocide, which is correct. Israel is doing a genocide.
And this is not talking about people that are anti-Israel. I don't care if you're anti-Israel. I don't care if you're pro-Palestine. I don't give a shit what your actual political beliefs are. Your political beliefs are you have the right to have. This is a free country. Unlike Gaza, where if you speak up against Hamas, they murder you. In America, the best country on the planet, in America, you actually do have the right to say whatever you want. And in America, where you do have the right to say whatever you want, you have the right to be pro-Palestine. Sure, you have the right to be anti-Israel. That's the beauty of the country. That's why it's such a good fucking place to be. But you don't have the right to incite people to violence and promote terrorist organizations and provide material support to terrorism and essentially say that you want people to murder Jews. Sorry, bro. Hate to be rude here, but you're fucking crazy.
People like myself who correctly say Israel's an apartheid state doing a genocide.
Israel's not an apartheid state. It's not. It's not. You look up any definition of apartheid, it's not an apartheid state. It's like he'll say these buzzwords, but essentially, if you are an Arab guy that is an Israeli, you could become an actual politician. All right, you could run for office. You could become a politician. There are 2 million Arabs that are Israeli in Israel, and they have the same exact rights as every Jew in Israel. So this is just not true also.
People that are...
An apartheid state is different rights for different ethnicities of people, and that's not the case.
Speaking at graduation.
You know what is an apartheid state? All the Muslim majority countries around Israel, because they don't let, let's say, Christians or Jews be part of the government. You can only be part of the government if you're Muslim. You have to pay extra taxes if you're not Muslim.
Correctly pointing out that Israel's doing a genocide. These are the people who are radicalizing people. It's like...
It's not about saying your opinion about Israel. It's about the incitement to violence and material support to terrorism. All right? He is so fucking disingenuous with everything he says. It's unreal.
No, dude, it's the fucking fact that Israel's doing a genocide that is radicalizing people. That's insane. Like, the argument that a lot of these guys are trying to present here basically is that Israel should be able to do a genocide and you shouldn't actually call it out. Because if you call it out, then you're radicalizing people against...
Yeah, that's not the argument that anyone's making. You just completely reframed it.
It's Israel. You're radicalizing people to...
Son, you wanted to start an IRA-style terrorist organization in America. What are we talking about?
Doing violence. That's an insane statement.
Oh my God.
Do you not care about the violence that Israel is subjecting the Palestinian people to? Obviously, Jonathan doesn't give a shit. His state...
It's so crazy. It's like, all right, so we get a guy that firebombs people in America. And it's like, do you not care about the violence in some other place in the world? Oh my God. Yes, he firebombed a bunch of Americans and lit them on fire. But how do you not care about this other thing? You're criticizing me when other people are suffering in the Congo right now? Holy. Yeah.
Purpose, his singular goal.
I think Hasan should tell the Houthis that they should stop marrying 12-year-old children. What do you think, guys? I can't even stand this. Hasan calls me out on his stream all the time when the Houthi terrorists are actively supporting the idea of 12-year-old girls marrying adults in Yemen. There are 4 million children married in Yemen right now, and Hasan likes the Houthis? It's kind of weird. You're going to criticize me when you have fucking children getting raped in Yemen?
Goal is basically to, do propaganda at the behest of Israel.
The other day at MIT.
Yeah, propaganda on the behest of Israel means calling out Hasan Piker for saying that, lighting Jews on fire isn't productive enough.
Spreading blood libels about the Jewish people or the Jewish state, it creates the conditions.
Dude, look at him rolling his head. Look at that.
Spreading blood libels about the Jewish people or the Jewish state, it creates the conditions.
Oh, blood libels. I mean, I did say that Israel opened fire on Gazans that were trying to get food, and it turns out that it wasn't Israel that did it, and it was actually Palestinians that did it. It was actually Hamas that murdered their own people, as I showed you from that interview. But whatever.
In which this kind of
oh my God. Blood libels. Blood libels? What are we talking about?
Is happening with increasing frequency. We've got to stop it once and for all. I hope the Trump administration will do just that.
Well, the fact...
Yes, for the record, yes. It's not just me. It is the United Nations that's also contributing to the radicalization. People obviously try to hone in and laser focus on their assessments here. They try to hone in and laser focus on targets that are priority targets for them. But yes, just like this U.S. ambassador to Israel is claiming here, Michael Fkaby, it's all...
Bro, he is the United States ambassador trying to end the war in Gaza, and Hamas keeps rejecting his offers.
The journalists. When Israel actually ends up killing hundreds of Palestinians, overwhelming majority women and children.
So that was actually proven not true. The overwhelming majority was not women and children. But again, Hasan is into this blood libel stuff. He likes that, right? That's classic Classic Hasan. Let me see if I can even find this. All right, so apparently Hamas themselves admit that 72% of combat-aged fatalities are men, and they quietly reduced the civilian death toll. So, again, I'm not defending the civilian casualties in Gaza. It's a fucking tragedy every time a civilian dies. But if Hamas admits themselves that 72% of the deaths are combat-aged men, like, how are you just gonna keep pushing this shit, bro?
The elderly, and the media reports on it as Israel has done this. All of a sudden, this is blood libel. All of a sudden, you're like, whoa, whoa.
No, the blood libel is you saying the literal lies that Hamas propagates without correcting yourself afterwards. Like, you know, how in the title of your last stream, literally, you have Israel opens fire at aid line, which is not true. This is not true. That's blood libel.
What are you doing? You're bringing attention, negative attention to the state of Israel. You are a very easy target. I don't think I'm a very easy target.
He is a pretty easy target because he basically goes live and incriminates himself every single day. You don't go live after there's a fucking flamethrower attack, all right? You don't go live after there's a flamethrower attack that happens where some random Egyptian illegal immigrant just lights a couple of Jews on fire and you're like, yeah, that's not very productive. That's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
I'm just someone who he can singularly focus on.
He didn't even singularly focus on you. He called out like 5 people. Dude, he's coping so hard. Oh my God.
To actively pressure and try to get banned. And it's because I'm one of the biggest targets. That's it. I'm one of the loudest voices with a major platform. Obviously, yeah, getting banned off Twitch is the least of my worries, but Alonzo respond.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah, so anyway, he reads a couple of tweets. I don't actually care, to be honest. I showed you what I wanted to show you. This has been a pretty bumpy ride. This has probably been one of the darkest episodes of the How Fucked is Hasan Piker franchise. Loudest voice, smallest head. This is Hasan Piker, known for supporting terrorist organizations that employ sex slaves and child soldiers that murder and rape people. This man is also known for potentially having sex with children in brothels and ditty parties. He's known for a lot of things. He's a little head that wears a big crown. But to be honest, realistically, in this episode, we covered how he's directly promoting debunked blood libels, where even though the BBC directly themselves said the video we talked about is incorrect, where you have actual eyewitnesses talking about how Hamas is the ones that are murdering the Palestinians that are trying to get food, all right? This is a literal, unironic, direct fucking lie that Hasan is pushing, that even though it's been debunked, Hasan will still retweet this as early as today. He did this again this morning when it was debunked yesterday, retweeting this fake news as a blood libel. As he sits there talking about how he wants there to be an IRA-style terrorist organization that just bombs civilians. And then guess what happens after he says he wants an IRA-style terrorist organization bombing civilians? You get a fucking retard firebombing civilians. Thanks so much for being here. Hope you enjoyed. This was a dark episode, but someone had to do it. I feel like people cover Hasan like the clips out of context. I don't think anyone actually goes this into the nitty-gritty of looking into how fucking awful the shit that this guy actually says. So I'll see you in the next one, gamers. And remember to stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.